WGC, may I please request your presence on the stage, please? Can we have a round of applause for our panelists and speakers as they arrive? Thank you so much. GV Sridhar ji from Sri Rama Jewels. Can I request your presence on the stage, sir? BA Ramesh ji, Tangamai Jewelry Limited. Manoj Jha ji, Kamakhya Jewels. Okay, so now I'd like to hand it over to our moderator, Chirag Sheth ji, to take it forward.
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I first need to congratulate GJC for organizing such a stellar event. It is a fantastic venue, and I think for the first time that they're organizing, this is a fantastic job done. So please give the organizing team a round of applause, please. Right. So आज actually हम हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों को कवर करने की कोशिश करेंगे. आज का जो एक्चुअल पैनल डिस्कशन है उसके अंदर हम ये डिस्कस करना चाहते हैं कि जो चेंजिंग डायनामिक्स है जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री की, और स्पेशली पिछले अगर 4-5 साल में अगर हम देखें तो काफ़ी सारे चेंजेस आए, रेगुलेटरी चेंजेस आए, कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर पे चेंजेस आए, और इवन इंडस्ट्री इटसेल्फ हैज़ चेंज्ड. सो इन चीज़ों पे हम एक बहुत ही आई वुड से हैवी वेट पैनल है हमारे साथ. और वैसे तो इनको कोई इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं चाहिए, पर एज अ मॉडरेटर मेरा जॉब है इनको इंट्रोड्यूस करना. आई इंट्रोड्यूस सोम सुंदरम, ही इज़ द रीजनल CEO ऑफ वर्ल्ड गोल्ड काउंसिल. GV श्रीधर, एक्स प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ GJS. मिस्टर रमेश, जॉइंट MD थंगामैल, और मनोज जी मेरे दोस्त, यंग डायनामिक speaker from the jewelry industry. So basically what is India Market Report? India Market Report एक initiative of World Gold Council की, where we basically, which is the report is written by Metals Focus, जहाँ पे हम pan India travel करते हैं to understand the various dynamics of the industry, right from what is happening in the bullion market, jewelry market में क्या हो रहा है, refining में क्या हो रहा है, और various जो पूरी industry के जो अलग अलग verticals है इनके ऊपर हम एक, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि एक डिटेल एनालिसिस ऑफ द मार्केट लेके आते हैं. सो आई विल आस्क यू दिस फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, as we said that there have been a lot of things that have changed in the industry, right? How do you see, and there are a lot of things which are also likely to come up, right? You've got the exchange which is coming up, you've got the new SEPA which has come up. How have you seen the industry changing, and what are the factors that you think will play out that the industry should be looking at?
See, clearly, the big changes, if you pull back and leave out the details, is that it is getting more organized. I mean, nobody thought GST will stabilize so beautifully in this industry. Everybody said, oh, unorganized industry, chota jeweler hai. I think it has wonderfully settled down. Second, overall, the industry has adapted to digital world, using digital marketing and new wave artificial intelligence and things like that. I would not have imagined this 5 years ago. There are obviously many things that are happening in the country, more like, as I said, since demonetization. The industry is adapting. Hallmarking, for instance, yes, with all the teething troubles, industry has adopted it. There is still some issue, I'm not saying no, but industry has adopted it. Overall, the big change I see is that an industry really adapting to change, but the industry also struggling with some lack of understanding on the part of policymakers to see why and how gold is bought the way it is bought.
Right, that's an interesting point that you made, and Manoj met me in the just an hour ago, so, and he asked this question, while we are talking about industry becoming organized, what do you mean by actually organized? Is there a definition, and whether industry needs to debate that? What do you mean by organized, and what do you mean by unorganized?
That is always, I mean, you and I have gone through this. Is it organized means what? I mean, is it essentially it is a ER, I would put it like if it is ERP based. I mean, if they know end to end, the supply chain is kept recorded, it is an organized industry. In an unorganized thing, somebody will do the buying, somebody will do manufacturing. Overall, they look at the cash. Okay? I mean, so it is a mom and pop store. That doesn't mean mom and pop store cannot be organized. All we are saying it is it is a difficult definition because nowhere has it been defined what is organized, what's not. Because everywhere organized means licensed, unorganized means unlicensed. Here there is no licensing. So the way I will put it therefore is it run with corporate practices even though you are mom and pop store, or is it run like a normal business, where cash is the king at the end of the day? That's the way I will put it.
मनोज जी, आप अगर इसके ऊपर कुछ कमेंट करना चाहें?
सो फर्स्ट तो आपने जो बोला कि कैश जहाँ इन्वॉल्व होता है, इट डजंट मैटर कि कैश इन्वॉल्व है या नहीं.
No, I didn't say, sorry. I want to, when I say cash is the king, ultimately in an unorganized setup, what happens is the final accounting, when I say accounting, what happens in the business, father kya kiya, brother kya kiya, everything will, focus only on the cash. In an organized, it is a ERP system. It doesn't matter. You have the entire thing.
So in a sense, what you're saying is cash, the sales may still happen in cash, but it's still recorded in that sense.
Yes, recording and the transparency.
Yeah.
जो ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर एक जो हम बात करते हैं ना, सबके परसेप्शंस अलग अलग है, बहुत ही अलग परसेप्शन है. कोई बोलता है मैं टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट करता हूँ इसलिए ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हूँ. कोई बोलता है कि हम शोरूम्स में पूरे अच्छे ड्रेसअप रहते हैं, अच्छी बातें करते हैं, हम बिल फाड़ते हैं टोटल, तो हम ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं. सम पीपल आर सेइंग कि हमारा कुरियर जाता है ऑथराइज्ड कुरियर से, इसलिए हम ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं. बट मेरे हिसाब से ये सब चीज़ों के पीछे लूप होल्स है. ऑर्गेनाइज व्हाट सोम वाज सेइंग, इट्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी, ब्लॉकचेन, कहाँ से रॉ मटेरियल आपका आया, क्या आया, एवरीथिंग इन ऑन बुक्स, एंड फाइनली जो डिस्पोज हो रही है या फाइनली जो डिलीवर हो रही है गुड्स, वो पूरा का पूरा वैल्यू चेन जो है ना, वो बुक्स में होना चाहिए. पॉइंट नंबर 1. पॉइंट नंबर 2, जो मॉडर्नाइजेशन है, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड मीन्स जो इन्होंने कॉर्पोरेट प्रैक्टिसेस बोली है, उस में जो मॉडर्नाइजेशन है, जो प्रैक्टिसेस वर्ल्ड वाइड यूज़ हो रहे हैं एज ए ज्वेलर, वो अगर अपने आप को अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं, एडुकेट कर रहे हैं और अपने कंपनी में उसको फॉलो कर रहे हैं, तो दैट इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट इज़ ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर.
रमेश जी, आपसे इस चीज़ पे पॉइंट पूछना चाहूँगा. नो, ही अंडरस्टैंड्स हिंदी वेरी वेल. रमेश जी, आपसे एक ये चीज़ पूछना चाहूँगा. जैसे मनोज जी ने कहा और सोम ने ये चीज़ कहा, आप ऑर्गेनाइज कैसे दें? क्योंकि आप एक लिस्टेड प्लेयर है, आप एक चेन स्टोर है, आप ऑर्गेनाइज की परिभाषा क्या समझते हैं?
यही बोल रहा है ना, ERP सिस्टम. सो वी आर टोटली कन्वर्ट आवर सिस्टम फ्रॉम 2008 से SAP में काम कर रहा है. सो फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग से अंत तक हमारा अकाउंट में आता है, अकाउंट में जाता है. सो कोई ना कोई सवाल पूछे तो भी हमारा सिस्टम से MS रिपोर्ट ले सकता है. सो जो ठीक है, जो गलत है, सब देख सकता है. अनऑर्गेनाइज करने के समय जो करता है ये उनको भी मालूम है, 2 दिन के बाद उनको भी भूल हो सकता है. सो सिस्टम में काम करे तो भी डेटा है, डेटा आप देख सकता है, डेटा का यूज़ करे तो भी ये बहुत बहुत हमको यूज़ है. So if you are using the data, that is very useful for us.
GV, I wanted to ask you, and just extending this whole debate on organized, unorganized, I've known you for 8-9 years now, right? You are a single store retailer, obviously, but you work very differently from with what the other, small scale retailer would work. And actually, and a lot of smaller jewelers have also come in, and I wanted to have your viewpoint. How did you organize your business, and what are the benefits that you actually got, out of that?
Yeah, basically, about a decade ago or more than 1.5 decade ago, we used to, like bill faadta hai, all these things used to be there. Now today, nothing, no bills. Everything is on a click button. We used to handle cash. Today we hardly touch cash. No cash is handled. Main thing, especially for small jewelers, what I would show is, if you handle the cash, your organizing thing has gone. Don't handle the cash. Let the person, let the professional handle what he wants to handle. He is the professional for that. Pay for it and do it. Number one. Number two, when you come to digitalization is very, very important. This is organized sector. One of the main important thing is this digitalization. Today in my system, we have about close to 1 lakh of customer database. My team was working for Akshay Tritiya that how many customers have come in the last 2-3 years, why these customers have not come, why around 10 to 15% have not turned up from the past 10 years, why they have not, we make a separate list, and what is the size of the token is happening, when from morning 10:30 we open till 12:30, what is the sale, from 12:30 2 o'clock what is the sale, in lunch time what is the sale, end time what is the sale, and how it is working, and how many people, what is the number of footfalls, what is the ratio, conversion ratio, how many customers are coming, out of which what is the conversion, why these customers are not buying. We'll have a separate inquiry for that. We will ask them, is there anything that we can solve. This is when we started doing that, we know everything in the sense, everything. Today I'm sitting in Bombay, one bill which has come, immediately I will get a message, this is what has happened. So all this when you get it organized, I know the market volatility is so much. If you sell about 200 grams and if you don't buy immediately, you are under soup. So the moment when the systems are in place, when you are organized, you need not have to sit in your place.
So are you essentially saying, because this is what a lot of people say, are sab cash leke aa rahe, hum kaisa kare dusri. Are you saying that becoming more organized and having more data has actually helped you grow your business?
Absolutely. It makes a lot of difference. See, when one customer comes, my team will be able to recognize that person and will take out a bill that Jitubhai Bindi has come in 2017, January 15th. After that, he has not come. Jitubhai, the way they say, immediately the customer is so happy. अरे मेरा नाम से बुलाया, मेरे क्या hospitality है ये दुकान में. And all our team has personal touch.
Yeah.
And everybody knows there is no number two business. I think if you are organized, you are safe. First thing what I can say is you are safe. See, you are not paying GST from your pocket. You are collecting, you are paying, number one. You are paying only 30 to 35% of your margin as an income tax. But you are gaining how much? And boss, if there is a burglary in your showroom, 50 crores burglary, 50 crores is covered in the insurance. If you are unorganized, 50 crore gaya badve. See, these are the advantages what you have if you are totally organized. So if you are not organized, you are nowhere.
मनोज जी, आपसे एक चीज़ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर पे, ये हम हमेशा सुनते हैं कि रिटेल इंडस्ट्री ज़्यादा तेज़ी से ऑर्गेनाइज हो रही है, चेन स्टोर्स आ रहे हैं, बहुत सारे प्रैक्टिसेस हो रहे हैं, बट ऑर्गेनाइज में आज भी शायद 30-40% ही जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होता है वो फैक्ट्रियों में हो रहा है और ज़्यादातर आउटसोर्स किया जाता है. ऐसा क्यों है कि ये सारी चीज़ें मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के बारे में सुनने मिलती है, ये भी सुनने मिलता है कि जो वर्किंग कंडीशंस है वो इम्प्रूव नहीं हुए हैं, तो ये ऐसा क्यों है कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री शायद थोड़ी बहुत स्लो है अपने आप को चेंज करने में?
इस क्वेश्चन का जवाब देने से पहले ये मैं बोलूँगा कि हम जो आपस में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनाइज कैश, डज इट नथिंग रिलेटेड कैश विद ऑर्गेनाइज. एक सिंगल बंदा है हमारे इंडस्ट्री में 70% स्मॉल स्टोर है, वो हाथ से भी बिल बनाता है. अगर वो अपने स्टाफ का केयर करता है, उसको सैलरी टाइम से देता है, उसका पीएफ भरता है, अपने वेंडर्स का ध्यान रखता है, ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ काम करता है, पूरे बिल में काम करता है, भले वो कैश लेन देन करता है, अपने कस्टमर को सही चीज़ बेचता है, टेस्टेड चीज़ जो IGI हो, क्या कहते हैं, हॉल मार्किंग सेंटर से हॉल मार्क किया हुआ चीज़ें हैं, सर्टिफिकेशन सब प्रॉपर हैं. और जब वो गवर्नमेंट को बुक्स और फाइलिंग करता है, वहाँ भी भले वो हर चीज़ मैनुअल कैश में करता है और ये सिस्टम के साथ करता है, तो मेरे को ही इज़ ए ऑर्गेनाइज पर्सन. बाकी हम टेक्नोलॉजी एडेप्शन इज नॉट ए ऑर्गेनाइज. पूरा टेक्नोलॉजी हम अडेप्ट करते हैं. मैंने ऐसे कितने शोरूम देखे हैं कि पूरा टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट है, आपकी शोरूम हाई प्रोफाइल है, लेकिन आप जब 20 लाख 25 लाख की जो सेट बेचना होता है तो कैश लेके बेच लेते हैं. तो दैट इज नॉट ऑर्गेनाइज.
I think
पॉइंट नंबर
it
1.
is, this question, I must tell you, we have always struggled with organized and unorganized because there's no definition anywhere.
Correct.
Okay. There is small, medium enterprises and large enterprises. Even government defines it like that. There is nothing like unorganized. In a hotel business, in a food business, you know what is unorganized. Hawker is unorganized because although he makes very good food, I mean, some of the masala dosa made by in the road is much better than what you eat, but you still call him unorganized. Okay, because he does not have a food license in that sense. In our business, we don't. So the question that he's asking is, when we use this word, 70% unorganized.
Whether we should stop using that word.
70% small, is that what we should say? Or we should just move in and say 120,000 hallmarking licenses have been given.
Yes.
Okay? Take out manufacturing. Only that many organized players are there. Because if you are not organized, you're not going to get a hallmarking license. Would that be acceptable? So this is more...
Yeah.
The panel is more to get your
करेक्ट.
views.
आई गॉट योर पॉइंट. सर्टिफिकेशन ऑल दैट इज रिक्वायर्ड. लेकिन ये हमारा परसेप्शन गलत है कि वो छोटे हैं, छोटा काम करते हैं तो ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं होगा. दैट आई वांट टू टेल यू.
Sure.
हिज क्वेश्चन वाज कि हम रिटेल सेक्टर में देखते हैं कि ज़्यादातर लोग ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं. हिज ऑल्सो व्हाट आई एज्यूम इज डाटा इज कमिंग कि जितने चेन स्टोर हैं, वी आर सेइंग कि ऑलमोस्ट 2023 में 17 केवल 17 कंपनी 45% ऑफ बिजनेस हमारा जो है वो चेन स्टोर्स करेंगे. तो वो ऑर्गेनाइज वे में कर रहे हैं, इसलिए वो आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. बाकी जो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड है वो पीछे जा रहे हैं. आई डोंट बिलीव दिस. फर्स्ट स्टेप कि जरूरी नहीं है कि वो चेन स्टोर हैं तो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं. आई एम टेलिंग यू वन थिंग, वेरी ब्लंट आंसर, कि जरूर नहीं है कि वो 7 चेन स्टोर है तो उसमें कोई माल फंक्शनिंग नहीं हो रहा है.
That's not how it is.
हाँ, इट्स नॉट कि वो माल फंक्शनिंग नहीं हो रहा है वहाँ पे और वो 100% ऑर्गेनाइज्ड ही हैं, या कोई एक छोटे से सॉरी
This thing, organized and compliant, we are not.
Yes, we are not talking that.
We are not saying organized is equal to compliant, unorganized is equal to non-compliant. No, no, no. Intuitively, we use the term organized and unorganized. By unorganized, what we say is small people who don't keep data up to date. As you were saying, customers are there, but it is entirely left with one person. He goes away, it doesn't work. That, whereas in an organized player, many things are process oriented. This is person oriented.
correct.
That is a way
SOP.
that we are doing it. The SOPs in an organized player are known. It may not be written. The standard operating practices for everything is known. Like he said, insurance karna hai.
Correct.
You know, customer data, you have to keep it like this. You should not reveal the data. You know, you have certain practices. You may be following it in the unorganized players, but there are chances of slip-ups very, very high. Because it is
correct.
dependent on not only single man, it is dependent on processes which are not well laid out, employee training, etc. So we need to differentiate between them. Would that be okay then to say at least 35-40% of the industry is organized, which means, I mean, in his store, I've seen his store, and I'm going to see his store, and I know about it, or yours, I'm sure I've heard about it. You guys are sitting and talking, yeah? I mean, there's nothing happening to your business. I mean, it'll be running probably twice, the volumes will be twice because you are away. Okay? That's not the case with this thing, correct? I mean, all of us want our bosses out of our place, right?
Chirag, I'm coming to you.
Comparing to this, when you are coming to organized, what I understand, 120,000 hallmarking licenses. Basically, if a person has a hallmarking license, he is organized. That is what?
Yes.
Can we
Yeah.
take that?
Can we take that?
Yes, I think. Yeah, see, this is. I think in most of the parts of the country, you have to take it like this because now it is made mandatory.
Correct. And he has to maintain accounts.
Absolutely. Now earlier it was a vague method. Now it is a process-oriented method. That precisely yes. So then you can definitely call this an organized. Number one. Number two. We are talking about, I say that we have about 5 lakh jewelers. But maybe Chirag may differ and Somji may differ that 3 lakh jewelers are there, 3.5 lakh is there. That one, why only 120? Rest of it should we call it as an unorganized. Very true. It is nothing if you're dealing cash, no problem. everything cash pay किया तो आज 90 see our pattern earlier 70% or 65% we used to get cash and only 25 to 30% only credit cards. Now it is changed. Pattern is totally changed. 80% is only digital. We get RTGS, we get NEFT, we get GPay, we get phone pay, what not. Every pay we get. Now cash is hardly 5-10%. So it is, you know.
Okay.
You wanted to be
No, it's fine. It's a big discussion of organized and non-organized definition. But right now we have to come to his question
Manufacturing.
that manufacturing.
So how do you define in manufacturing?
What we see जब हम देखते हैं कि retailers organized ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं, is not like that कि manufacturers नहीं हो रहे हैं. ये perception गलत है. वहाँ पे डेफिनेटली जो वर्क फोर्स है रिटेल में वो बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइज या एजुकेटेड सोर्स से डिफरेंट सोर्सेज से भी आ रहे हैं, डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज से आ रहे हैं, क्रॉस इंडस्ट्रियल प्लेटफॉर्म बन रही है वहाँ पे और वहाँ पे वो काम हो जाता है. अगर किसी टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री से हो या बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री से हो वहाँ से भी लोग आके उस B2C में काम कर सकते हैं. तो वहाँ पे ऑर्गेनाइज जो होने का तरीका है वो काफ़ी फास्ट हो रहा है. एट द सेम टाइम डेफिनेटली उतना फास्ट नहीं हो रहा है लेकिन लोग मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में भी चाहते हैं. रीज़न क्या है, यहाँ टेक्निकल पार्ट ज़्यादा होता है इन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में. तो टेक्निकल्स के लिए आप दूसरे इंडस्ट्री से लोग जनरली कम हायर कर पाते हैं. तो दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द मेन रीज़न कि यहाँ नहीं कर. दूसरा बात, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में जो जैसे खासकर गोल्ड है उसमें प्रॉफिट मार्जिन इतना कम है एंड द कॉम्पिटिशन इज़ सो हाई इन B2B. तो जैसे कि लोग बोलते हैं कि 1% 2% पे गोल्ड का ट्रेडिंग कर देते हैं, बिजनेस कर देते हैं. तो हायरिंग फ्रॉम अदर इंडस्ट्रीज एंड ऑर्गेनाइज्ड पीपल, एजुकेटेड पीपल, तो वो उनका कॉस्टिंग इतना हाई हो रहा है जिसके लिए कहीं कहीं मैन्युफैक्चरर्स जो अभी भी रिलक्टेंट हैं कि हम उतना ऑर्गेनाइज ना हो हमारे देसी सिस्टम से काम.
क्या इसकी वजह से टेक्नोलॉजी अडेप्टेशन भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में काफ़ी स्लो है? क्योंकि हमने सिल्वर में देखा है स्पेशली टेक्नोलॉजी अडेप्टेशन बहुत स्ट्रांग हुआ है. इसकी वजह से इंडिया इज नाउ एबल टू कम्पीट विद थाईलैंड, कम्पीट विद सम ऑफ द अदर कंट्रीज, राइट? गोल्ड में क्या इसी की वजह से टेक्नोलॉजी अडेप्टेशन भी बहुत स्लो हुई है?
देखिए यहाँ ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट बॉल गेम है. सिल्वर जो एक लास्ट 10 ईयर्स में जो ग्रोथ हुआ है, मुझे लगता है 10 ईयर्स नहीं, लास्ट 5 ईयर्स में 10 टाइम्स हो गया है. यहाँ टेक्नोलॉजी अडेप्टेशन इसलिए ज़्यादा हो रहा है सिल्वर में क्योंकि वहाँ वॉल्यूम कई गुना, 20 गुना 25 गुना बढ़ गई है और एवरी ईयर वो मल्टीफोल्ड हो रही है. तो वहाँ पे अगर टेक्नोलॉजी अडेप्टेशन स्लो करेंगे तो उनकी कॉस्टिंग नहीं बैठेगी. यू गॉट माई पॉइंट. और वो कॉस्टिंग नहीं बैठेगी तो वर्ल्ड से compete नहीं कर पाएंगे. खासकर जैसे चाइना एंड ऑल से लास्ट 3-4 ईयर्स में टेक्नोलॉजी इतना ज़्यादा डेवलप किया है कि इंडियन जो हमारे सिल्वर के मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं उनको उनके साथ कंपेयर करना ही पड़ेगा. और सबसे बड़ा चीज़ उसमें वही है कि मास प्रोडक्शन. अगर वो मास प्रोडक्शन हैंडमेड करेंगे तो लेबर कॉस्ट विल बी वेरी हाई. सेम टाइम विद द गोल्ड में ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है. गोल्ड में आप जो है वो वही डिज़ाइंस, अब जो अभी लेटेस्ट जो ट्रेंड आया है वो सिल्वर लोग खरीदते हैं, खरीदे और फेंको, 6 महीना में फेंक दो, 4 महीने में फेंक दो. गोल्ड लेकिन मतलब यूज़ एंड थ्रो सिस्टम सिल्वर में बहुत आ गया है. जो मिलेनियल्स आए हैं ना तो वो उनको एवरीडे नए डिज़ाइंस चाहिए. एक बड़ी बात ये है कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि सिल्वर ज्वेलरी कहीं ना कहीं कुछ पोर्शन अब गोल्ड का जो है वो जगह ले रही है, कुछ पोर्शन. एट द सेम टाइम फैशन ज्वेलरी उसका भी कुछ जगह ले रही है. तो इन दोनों का जो मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन है वो कम हो रहा है कहीं ना कहीं. ये एक थ्रेट भी है गोल्ड इंडस्ट्री को.
रमेश जी, ये जो मनोज जी ने अभी कहा कि सिल्वर ज्वेलरी मिलेनियल्स पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, यंगर जनरेशन पे, गोल्ड में हमने ये होते हुए इतना देखा नहीं है. जहाँ पे अपार्ट फ्रॉम हैंडफुल ऑफ फ्यू जहाँ पे 18 ईयर ओल्ड 20 ईयर ओल्ड पे फोकस है, गोल्ड ज्वेलरी में इतना हो नहीं पा रहा है. तो क्या एज अ रिटेलर आर यू थिंक वर्किंग विद मैन्युफैक्चरर्स फॉर दैट?
But now we are concentrating on silver jewelry also. मनोज भाई बोलने कि जैसे पहले 4 साल के पहले 5 साल के पहले बहुत कम बिकता था. अभी लास्ट ईयर वी आर सेलिंग 24 crores. This item is we are having very good margin also.
Right.
So youngsters are now very fond of it. मनोज भाई बोलने के जैसा ये सोने का धंधा भी बहुत ये छोटा छोटा काम में कम होने के चांसेस भी है.
But is there a need to focus on millennials, especially as gold jewelers, कि offering देना जरूरी है जहाँ पे जैसे मिया किया है तनिष्क ने जो younger millennials पे focus है तो क्या
ये तो it's not up to market because silver jewelry throw away money. 1,000 रुपया 2,000 रुपये का लेते हैं फाड़ तो भी बाहर बेच दे बट सोना का आइटम ऐसा नहीं है सो इसलिए नाउ इट इज़ नॉट अप टू द मार्केट थोड़ा दिन के बाद ऐसा हो सकता है.
So I wanted your viewpoint on one very hot topic that is stocks, right? When the hallmarking debate was going on, there were figures coming out that India has got 5,000 tons of gold stock, 3,000 tons of gold stock, right? But in an industry where getting funding is so difficult, like I was speaking with GV this morning, 77,000 crores is the only amount that the entire gems and jewelry has got. Entire gems and jewelry, which includes your diamonds, silver, stones, gold, everything, right? 2.7% of India's bank credit goes to gems and jewelry. If at all we have got 3,000 tons in our gold shops, how are we able to fund it?
Well, this is again another topic. I don't think we have that much fund. I have always maintained it. 2.7%, 75,000 crore is the total, absolutely correct figures. Look at the RBI report, it's beautifully written, 75,000 crores. That is non-funded. For many of them are giving bank guarantees for exports, that's not a funding. 75,000 crores is the inventory that you have. I mean, it's a bank funding against inventory.
Yes.
75,000 crores, that is not even 500 crores means about 150 tons max.
Yeah.
You sell 800 tons. Okay, 750, 800 tons. There is no chance that jewelers have funded so much. He just said that we don't have money. And that too, 70% unorganized, small players. Have they put so much equity? I doubt. Okay. My own estimation of stocks in the inventory stores is that, and also they are very savvy businessmen. Let's be very clear. You understand, it hurts you. If you don't sell within 20, 30 days, it hurts you. Everybody knows that. So my own estimate is about 350 max tons. That's all that is inventory in the shops. I'm talking purely gold. Of that, about 70 tons is metal gold loan. Yeah. Maybe some things is there.
65, 70 tons.
I don't think it can be anything more than maximum of 6 months stock in the inventory. If they are, now I would definitely ask them to go and get a banking license.
GV, you want to comment on that? You smiled even when Som mentioned 350, 400 tons.
See, basically, now 75,000 crores, I mean, this is what the funding which banks has given. Is it only to gem and jewelry industry or to the diamonds as well?
Including diamond.
Is there any figure or a statistics as what is the figure to diamonds and what is the figure to the...
I would say that 60, 40, 60.
Yeah. I agree, yeah.
More diamond.
My this thing is diamond is more on BGs.
Okay. So if such is the case, I would definitely agree with you. If such is the case, I would definitely agree with you. It is right only. But
How many of you keep 1 year stock?
What I think so, 90% of the jeweler having a turnover of only one time in a year. You can ask here, not 6 months. So your figure immediately will do. You are only talking about the corporates. Other than corporates, what all the jewelers of India, they have only one time. एक बार से ज़्यादा कमल भैया एक बार से ज़्यादा आप लोग कोई टर्नओवर करते हो कोई नहीं करता.
एक बार की बात करें तो भी ये फिगर 700-800 टन पे ही आके अटक जाता है.
हाँ वो डबल तो ऐसे ही हो रहा है. दूसरा जो बी टायर सी टायर के जो हमारे ज्वेलर हैं वो ये सोचते हैं कि जो हमने ज्वेलरी बेची है अभी वो भी हॉलमार्किंग के लिए मेरे पास आएगा तो वो भी तो फिगर जोड़ना है. तो ये बहुत सारे एजम्पशंस हैं जिसके वजह से ये फिगर्स आ रहे हैं. बट अकॉर्डिंग टू यू आर करेक्ट कि वो 350 और मतलब लॉजिकल देखता है फिगर.
Ramesh ji,
what you are telling is absolutely correct, because if a person is holding for one time rotation jewelry, no, he cannot survive. For sure, 100%.
No, there are
you
two
can-
retailers. Okay, let's get both the retailers' viewpoint. GV and Ramesh ji. What is your stock turnover? Let's say.
He have also said to others.
Okay, and others also. Less than one ton.
एक मिनट मैं इंडस्ट्री के बारे में बोलता हूँ.
हाँ.
हीरा तो एक टाइम का टर्नओवर तो अच्छा है,
बराबर.
बट सोना तो 2.25 टाइम्स. नहीं हमारा हम 3 के ज़्यादा है, 4 तक चल रहा है. दैट इज वी आर हैविंग वेरी गुड सॉफ्टवेयर भी है, राइट प्रोडक्ट राइट प्लेस राइट टाइम. ये तो थियरी ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट्स ये सॉफ्टवेयर हम डाल रहा है. सो वी आर डूइंग लाइक दिस, बट मार्केट में 2 टाइम्स इस ये करना ही जरूरी है. 10% का भी नहीं है भाई, 10% का भी नहीं है भाई.
Okay, let's take a poll. काफी retailer है. By show of hands, just how many of y'all are able to do above 1 stock turn in a year? Let's say.
This thing. This is just a debate. It's not
yeah,
just
it's
us.
just a debate.
Okay.
साल में एक बार से टर्नओवर एक पूरा अगर 100 किलो का आपका स्टॉक है तो आप 100 किलो से कम बेचते हैं कि ज्यादा बेचते हैं?
ज्यादा वाले
We
कितने?
sell 800 tons. Consumers buy 800 tons every year from India. Are you saying that all the retailers hold 800 tons of gold stock? Forget diamonds and all that stuff. My own this thing is not possible. If that is the case, that's what I said. GJC should pool all the gold. Just apply for a banking license. You will be funding banks.
I think Surajji, I wanted to hear from you. The turnover.
Can somebody get,
because you are so organized and well planned.
Look, you don't have to give the actual figures. Yes,
I mean,
सुरभोजी, you don't have to speak. You are again from an organized sector. You have to बंगाल के जो normal ज्वेलर हैं, B tier, C tier, उनके बारे में बताना.
I don't believe in branding oneself as organized or unorganized. I think, what is more important, which I will agree what sir ने बताया, if you are doing 2.5 times so far gold is concerned, you are safe.
Not safe. हो क्या रहा है? Practically क्या है? हो जो हो रहा है वो बताइए.
Is it possible, like,
asking you like income tax. He's putting it very politely, saying 2.5 is safe. I mean, does he look like a person who is not safe?
जरूर.
No, no, total, sir. Total.
या मेरा भी पॉइंट ऐसा है कि जनरली आई हैव सीन इन साउथ इंडिया बिकॉज द स्टॉक टर्नओवर ऑफ एवरी रिटेल इंडस्ट्री जनरली आई बिलीव दैट इट इज ए 3 टाइम बिकॉज दैट इज ए 4 months cycle and because the way they operate and the way the margins are there naturally the 4 months inventory is turnover. So naturally when you talk about the inventory holding by the stores, so it comes to nearly about 1/3 of the what is because there is a 2 types of inventory. One the gold is imported, second is recycled gold, and so all together I believe that there is naturally a 400 tons of the stock is held in the retail stores.
So 400 tons is what Ashok Bhai is saying, right? So yes.
So 3 times. That's what. See that.
reasonable
See, Muthu,
turnover.
அதுதான் சொல்றது என்ன? If you sell 100 tons, okay, if you are selling 100 tons, your stock will be 30 tons because you would have turned it over 3 times. Yes. Every 100 days you sell 30 tons.
Retail, I'm telling. Manufacturing, we cannot hold for a long time like this. And one more point, Mr. Somu raised that how long you will retain the unsold stock. It's very tough to put a barrier line for remelting or to be sell it. But many stock may be lying for 2 years, 3 years also is there. So it's a typical question on the subject that how to maintain the unsold stock. I think that also is to be discussed intensively.
this is exactly what I was talking about, the organized and unorganized. In our store, anything which is above 6 months, then it will pop up. These are the stocks which is there. That means it will say anything above 1 year, the pop-up will be in red. So there you will immediately take a call as to what to do, what not to do.
Okay.
So that is one thing. And when you coming to this ratio, I mean, what we sell is between 2.25 to 2.5 times.
Okay.
I will also give you one more small this thing. See, the metal gold loan is 70 tons. Let's take metal gold loan is normally given for 6 months. Okay. So which means 70 tons mean it accounts for 140 tons. I'll keep it as 200 tons also. 200 tons out of 800 tons goes through the metal gold loan. All right. Now you saw 75,000 crore comes from the banks. Let's take it as 40,000 crores for gold industry. 40,000 crores means what? 80 tons? 80 tons. Correct? So that 80 tons you take it as again 2 times 200 tons. Or so there is 200 tons there. There is 200 tons through the bank loans. 400 ho gaya. Balance 400. I don't see who is funding it. So if the retailer, that's why I say it has got to be, it cannot, personally I think it cannot be more than 400 tons. If it is more than 400 tons, first of all, if it is, I'm saying, I think the industry must do only one thing in the next 1 year. Just do inventory reduction, encash it, put it in the bank or whatever it is, take the money out and reduce the cost of labor for the or pay more for the manufacturers. Absolutely, that's what you should do. Because essentially what you're doing is, carrying cost of this is so high, you are actually charging somebody. Ultimately, consumer pays and consumer anyway doesn't pay much. So who are you shortchanging? Manufacturers. Go back and pay the manufacturers more.
No, it cannot happen, Mr. Som, because today, earlier, if you have 10 necklaces, we'd sell 1 necklace. Today, if I show 100 necklaces, बस इतना ही है क्या? और कुछ मिलेगा क्या? ये नीचे का पेंडेंट इतना बड़ा चाहिए, ऊपर का चेन ऐसा चाहिए. No, if you don't have the stock, you can't. I know some corporates are really extremely doing well with very less inventory stock, but single stores especially, standalone stores cannot do. They have to have maximum inventory because we are we are dominating only by designs. So that particular art is
GV
there.
Ashok Bhai wants to make a point.
Here I want to put one more word. See, when you talk about the reduction of the inventory, पहले ज़माने में क्या हो रहा था कि आप 10 पीस बचा के एक पीस को सेल कर सकते थे, लेकिन आज क्या हो गया, आप 30 पीस बता के भी एक पीस को सेल नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि the इन्वेंट्री जो वेराइटीज डिजाइन इतनी बढ़ गई है कि उसमें आपको स्टॉक इन्वेंट्री कट नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपने जो सोम सुंदर जी ने बोला था कि इन्वेंट्री कट करो और आपका टर्न अराउंड बढ़ाओ और प्रॉफिट उसमें बढ़ता है, मैं मानता हूँ उस बात को, लेकिन वो जो ERP सिस्टम में जो स्टॉक वेल टाइम जो प्लेसिंग में है उसके कारण उसका एफिशिएंसी बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन साथ में जो रिटेलर को एक जो वेराइटीज़ के हिसाब से रखना पड़ रहा है उसमें वो स्टॉक को कट डाउन नहीं कर पा रहा, वो मेरा मानना है.
Sir, I think, here artificial intelligence can actually help the industry, right? Because probably we are unable to understand which is the one which we need to stock. So once you look at that, I think it will be helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very interesting
The industry again must actually invest in artificial intelligence, and if you are saying, consumers are always asking for a different design, do not give them a completed design. Just give them we've always said in the innovation center, we want that to be the first project. It will be almost like, pardon my use of a very, very loose this thing, like a Lego. Don't give them a real this thing. You give them pieces which they can at that point in time keep doing, which will give 10 designs for the same 100
This is
grams.
actually
10
what is
designs
happening
for
in
this.
China. So
Exactly what you should do is to employ the best. We have the assay center like that. We must have an innovation center where they will give enormous number of the way you can manufacture pieces so that the pieces can be reassembled before the consumer, such that they can get for the same 10 pieces which makes up 60 grams, you have 5 different varieties. Now, I'm not saying it is possible readily, but just that's what we should think through. Don't give them a completed piece, because then you got to go back and change it. Give them pieces which says these 10 will look like this, these 8 will look like this. Can you do that? That's what we should probably invest money in.
let's just
Here
Sold stock what we having, it can be the image of the pieces can be posted in that platform, and a common body, everyone can see that if something is required for them, they can take that piece also, they can put it in their store, or they can satisfy the requirement.
Now with hallmarking, that becomes a lot easier because everybody is hallmarked also. Earlier, that was also not an issue. So
Sir, one more.
we've got time constraint. I've been just
last one, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you continuously told organized and unorganized. Finally, it is coming to that unaccounted part or a cash part. It's coming. Even the SOP should be there, and finally, it is coming to that. The thing why the such things are happening, there is a lacuna in the policy. We have to give all these data to the government that such things are happening, because now today there is 140 rupees per gram from the grey market to the official market. All small players, there is the right time to make money, because for a long time they have lost some crores of money. The chances
Muthu sir,
they have lost.
we'll discuss that
So
later.
sir is there. You are directly related to the government.
Sure.
Put all the words in front of the
Sure, sorry, but I've just been prompted. We've got last 15 minutes, so we've got two bankers, right? Manish is here, Ajit, ex-banker, and we've got सिंगल स्टोर रिटेलर एंड चेन स्टोर एंड मैन्युफैक्चरर. मैं आप एक्चुअली पांचों से ये पूछना था, फंडिंग के ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन है, क्योंकि हम ये अक्सर सुनते आ रहे हैं कि जैसे हमने कहा कि 77,000 करोड़ की सिर्फ जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री को फंडिंग मिली है, सिर्फ 2.7% है. मनीष, पहले मैं आपसे ये चीज़ पूछूंगा, फिर मैं इधर आऊँगा. एज अ बैंकर, व्हाट इज द चैलेंज दैट यू फेस टू फंड द जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री? यू फ्रॉम ICICI बैंक, वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट बैंक्स इन इंडिया.
See, challenge-wise, there is no challenge. We support the industry both in the gem, all the industry, including gem and jewelry. However, everything boils down to the balance sheet strength and what is it that is recorded in the books of accounts. So the funding from the banking system can only come to the extent of what is reflecting in the balance sheet. So that is the only thing which I would say. And apart from that, there is no other challenge.
Ajit, you want to come in on this?
Oh, well, to add to what Manish is saying is basically balance sheet, obviously, but transparency and creating the trust amongst bankers. Okay, that's something which the industry should think of. Transparency is extremely important, and creating the trust amongst bankers rather than the things which we have seen in the past. So that will definitely change the perception of the entire financial industry towards the industry.
Manoj ji, if you want to comment on this.
देखिए चिराग भाई, डेफिनेटली आज से 3-4 साल पहले हमारे इंडस्ट्री को बहुत फंडिंग की प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी. उसका बहुत बड़ा रीज़न था कि जो NPA के जो फिगर्स आ रहे थे वो हमारे इंडस्ट्री से एक्सपेक्टेशन से कहीं ज़्यादा आ रहे थे और कहीं भी हाईलाइटेड हो रही थी हर बैंक्स में, चाहे वो डायमंड हो या ज्वेलरी.
आज भी 20% NPA है एक्चुअली.
तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा कंसर्न है. बैंकर्स बोलते नहीं है, लेकिन कि जो हमारी इंडस्ट्री का NPA लेवल है वो सबसे हाई है बाकी सभी इंडस्ट्री के कंपैरिजन में. दूसरा पॉइंट ये है कि अभी तो पिछले 3-4 साल में हमारा रिटेल्स, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ये सब काफ़ी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हुआ है, लेकिन जो भी लोन्स लिए हैं पहले वो ज़्यादातर लोगों ने ट्रेडर्स ने लिए हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरर्स से भी ज़्यादा. और बैंकर्स जो हैं वो ट्रेडर्स पे थोड़ा कम विश्वास रखते हैं, क्योंकि
आप इस पे थोड़ा मनोज जी थोड़ा एक्सपैंड करेंगे. ट्रेडर्स पे ज़्यादा विश्वास करते हो, ट्रेडर्स
क्या है, ऑलवेज स्टॉक इन हैंड. ठीक है, ये सर, स्टॉक इन हैंड जो होता है, खुद का स्टॉक लेके फिर बेचते हैं जो मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, तो कोलैटरल के साथ साथ स्टॉक इन हैंड इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जो मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के पास हमेशा दिखता है इन्हें कि वो खुद फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ सेल होता है और ख़रीद के वो अपने पैसे से जनरली बेचते हैं. लेकिन उसके बाद के जो ट्रेडर्स होते हैं जो मैन्युफैक्चरर से केवल क्रेडिट पे लेते हैं और सामने फिर वो सेल आउट कर देते हैं, तो उन पे बैंकर्स को थोड़ा भरोसा कम होता है, क्योंकि स्टॉक तो इन हैंड देखता है लेकिन क्रेडिटर्स में जो होता है वो 6 महीने, 9 महीने, क्या कहते 3 महीने ऐसे क्रेडिटर्स दिखते हैं. तो बैंकर्स को हमेशा जनरली ऐसा रहता है कि लेस देन 90 डेज़ के जो पेमेंट्स होते हैं वो उनको लुभाते हैं. लेकिन यहाँ 90 डेज से ज़्यादा पेमेंट जो है वो दिखता है कि जब हम अपने डेबिटर से पैसा ले रहे हैं वो तो 30 दिन में आ जा रहा है, 60 दिन में आ जा रहा है, लेकिन जो हमारे क्रेडिटर्स हैं उनके 180 दिन में पेमेंट. तो ये इंडस्ट्री का जो गलत प्रैक्टिस है जिसके वजह से भी एक बैंकर्स तक को उतना भरोसा नहीं होता है. दूसरा ये है कि जो सोम बता रहे थे ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, ऑर्गेनाइज में ये भी एक ऐसा चीज़ है कि हमारे लोग जो हैं वो उतने बैलेंस शीट को अपने सही तरीके से इतने सालों से मेंटेन नहीं किया है कि जिस हिसाब से वो लोन के लिए जाएं तो वो स्ट्रांग फील करें। तो वो एक बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट है। लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है जब से खासकर गवर्नमेंट ने एमएसएमई इंट्रोड्यूस किया है तब से बैंकर्स भी काफ़ी कंफर्टेबल हो गए हैं। जो एमएसएमई सेक्टर है वहाँ लोन्स बहुत ही ईजीली दे रहे हैं, इफ़ आई एम राइट। तो आज मेरे ख्याल से ये प्रॉब्लम धीरे धीरे सॉल्व होते जा रहा है हमारे इंडस्ट्री में, बट डेफिनेटली वी आर वरीड अबाउट द ट्रेडर्स एनपीए व्हाट हैपेंड बिफोर।
Gio, do you face any challenge very quickly? Do you face challenges in getting?
No, actually not, because I slightly differ with Manoj. What he is telling about 180 days वो खाली डायमंड्स में होता है, गोल्ड में कोई 1 वीक या 10 डेज का ऊपर कोई क्रेडिट्स होता नहीं है। आई मीन देयर वही स्पॉट का ही मैक्सिमम होता है, बिकॉज द वे द challenging times, the way competition is happening, everybody wanted to buy at the lowest cost and sell the best rate. So उसमें गोल्ड में ये पार्ट अलाउ नहीं होता है, नंबर वन। नंबर टू, as Mr. Ajit rightly said, the balance sheet, when the balance sheet was seen, I was observing the credit team sees so well what is your total sale, what is your creditors, debitors, and non-current liabilities, current liabilities, and the how much, what is the see all these things. Apart from that, what they say is, अच्छा आपका 100 crore sale है, मगर उसमें very good, but उसमें first thing what bank says is what is your bullion sale. So there they will catch hold of a jeweler as to how much they have to fund. They are sitting in my head to take, because my bullion sale is less than 2%. And in that, what that person was so smart, was, अच्छा सर इसमें 100 ग्राम का ऊपर सेल का कितना बिल है एक महीने के लिए. So that is the kind of things what banks are, and they are very aggressive. If their parties are genuine, they are coming out and funding for genuine parties. It's very easy. Who is maintaining the transparency? Who's really maintaining the transparency? There is absolutely, I don't see any problem. So I think it is not that difficult for funding as it used to be earlier, like 3-4 years back.
Okay, last yes.
ये की सवाल है भाई, बैंकर कैसे हमारा बैलेंस शीट को देखता है वैसा हम देखते नहीं। हमारा इंडस्ट्री लोगों को
That's a very good point.
जरूरी है, उनको बैंकर बैठकर हमारा क्या क्या पोजीशन है, सवाल है, ये कैसे आप एडजस्ट करो, ऐसा करें तो भी 1-2 दिन साल के अंदर अच्छा पैसा मिल सकता है।
Chirag, Manish here.
Yeah, Manish.
Just to add to the point of discussion, जैसे हम बोल रहे हैं बैलेंस शीट स्ट्रेंथ, बट बैलेंस शीट स्ट्रेंथ में जैसे सर ने पॉइंट आउट किया 2-3 चीज़ें मेन रहती है। एक है कि टर्नओवर कितना हो रहा है एंड हाउ बल्क और हाउ कंसंट्रेटेड इज द टर्नओवर इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स विच दे आर डूइंग। सेकेंड थिंग, टर्नओवर होने के बावजूद कि उसका स्टॉक टर्नओवर रेशियो कितना है साल भर में। सो एज द डिबेट वाज हैपनिंग अर्लियर, I have not seen any balance sheet where it has not turned at least twice in a year. There are many which go up to 4 times also, but no one below 2. And third, and the most important is the profit percentage margin which is captured in the balance sheet, कि whether the system, the business is sustainable or not. क्योंकि काफ़ी चीज़ें ऐसी रहती है बैलेंस शीट में जो एक्सपेंसेस में जाती है, लेकिन अगर प्रॉफिट टू दैट ट्यून जनरेट नहीं हो रहा है तो दैट बिकम्स अ क्वेश्चन मार्क इन द लॉन्ग टर्म।
One last question, Som. I wanted to talk on changing consumer behavior. And you study a lot of, you do consumer insights. You look at things. Consumer behavior over the last 5 or 6 years have changed, right? You're seeing a lot of lightweighting happening. A lot of, millennials are now, kind of taking the decisions to what to buy, what not to buy. How do you think is industry poised to kind of face this changing consumer behavior, and what is it that the industry needs to do so that the younger generation, are probably lured towards gold and, other similar products?
See, that's the Your Gold campaign which you have brought. Also, it's industry is doing a good job on the heavy jewelry, on the temple jewelry, wedding jewelry, etc. They have to create more moments to start gifting gold. And that is what I would say, and also start getting international trends into India. That is primarily what we should probably look at in the next
When you say you require more days to give gold, do we need to move out of this, festival-based gold buying
We should
towards?
not throw away what we have. What
Right.
we are saying is
No.
create more.
Yeah, create more.
Create
Right.
more.
So
Absolutely.
more on the occasion basis rather than the festival basis. Right?
And for
Okay.
which you need also gifting. You can't give 20,000 every time.
Yeah.
So you need to create gift articles which are probably 3,000, 5,000 kind of stuff.
Sure.
Using gold and create gift occasions.
Sure. Okay, actually we've run out of time, but if there are a couple of audience questions, I might just take. Yes, Muthu sir.
Another thing, the other side, now the banks are losing the trustworthiness. See, once if you're getting a better offer from some other bank, the banks are not allowing to go to switch over easily. While giving the sanction ticket, they are telling no foreclosure charges will be there. Then after that, if you are getting the schedule of charges, if you see there is a charges of foreclosures are there. It is to the consideration of the client. They are telling
3%.
yeah, up to 3%.
But
who
they are
should
asking
decide?
3%.
Yeah, who should decide? Whether your client should decide or a bank should decide, it is in vague. So that part also should be discussed, sir. So now, NPA is one part. That is the negative part. If a client is very genuine and loyal to the banker, they are not easily allowing us to switch over to some other bank. They are telling RBI limit is there for 60 days. So till the 60 days, who will lose that thing? And how can I confirm with the other bankers? So that is a great problem is arising in our fields.
अशोक भाई आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहते हैं?
यही बात आज से 3 महीने पहले अपने फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारामन जी से उसी मीटिंग में बात हुई थी. उन्होंने बैंकर की मीटिंग कॉल की थी ऑन द रिक्वेस्ट ऑफ द ज्वेलर्स, और चेन्नई में कॉल फॉर हुई थी. उस टाइम में सब टॉप ज्वेलर्स वहीं पे थे और सब बैंकर्स वहाँ पे थे, और उसमें यही बात रेज हुई थी कि एक तो जो ज्वेलर्स को, कम्युनिटी को बैंक का सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता है. सेकंड आके यही जैसे कोई एक बैंक में कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो दूसरी बैंक में शिफ्ट होना चाहता है तो फोरक्लोजर चार्जेस लग रहे हैं. बाकी सब बातें हुई थी उसमें. आई थिंक इट वाज अ वेरी पॉजिटिव मीटिंग एंड दे हैव एक कमिटी बना दी थी अंडर द चेयरमैनशिप ऑफ द स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, और उसमें ये सब बातें डिस्कस हुई थी. और शी ओपनली टोल्ड इन द फोरम टू द बैंकर्स कि अगर आपको लगता है ज्वेलर्स सब सही है तो यू शुड गो अहेड, आपको ज्वेलर्स इंडस्ट्री को सपोर्ट करना चाहिए करके. एंड इट वाज अ वेरी गुड फैंटास्टिक मीटिंग.
Right. Okay. If there are no questions, then thank you very much. Thank you to my panelists and thank you to the audience. Thank you. Okay. Can everybody please stay on the stage?
Thank you so much. I'm really happy with the way things are going. Such energy, such enthusiasm, so much questions, so much energy. Thank you so much, all our panelists. And now I would request on stage Mr. Sumesh Vadhera ji. And of course, he might not need an introduction because...
We also invite Jitu Bhai and Suro Chandra ji on stage. On behalf of Ashok Bhai, Ashok Bhai, you are there. So I'm not saying on behalf, you have to come forward. Please come quickly. Acha, okay. So on behalf of our mentor of Mindspeak, we have a small books as a memento to our speaker. I would request you to come forward.
Yes, I would request Sumesh ji to present with our token of appreciation to all our speakers and panelists. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have Soma Sundaram ji from World Gold Council, GV Sridhar ji, Sri Rama Jewels, BA Ramesh ji from Tangamail Jewelry Limited, Manoj Jha ji from Kamakhya Jewels, and of course the moderator for the session, very well moderated, Chirag Sheth ji from Metal Focus Limited. So that was our panel. Thank you so much for joining us on stage and giving us such an enlightening session. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a break of 5 minutes. You can go and have your refreshments. We will be back with the final session for today, which is design and innovation. So please kahin mat jayega. Please hang back and be ready. Brace yourselves for another exciting